Okay, today I have Melanie with me. So Melanie, tell me a little bit about your brand.
So I'm an artist, specifically with watercolor and calligraphy, and digital has kind of been building. So it kind of just started out as like tinkering with it, and then it slowly became commissions, and then it's just kind of like grown organically on itself. I've started doing like logos and helping people with their website and their brand, and I wouldn't call myself like a brander by any means, but just like, I don't know, having an artistic eye to it. And
a lot of brands, like the artistic side of it is not always there for people. So being able to have someone that's like, no, this is the things that you need, like let's figure out your colors, let's make you a logo. Like I think that all of those things really like help to play into brands being able to grow. So tell me about how you got started into doing calligraphy.
I got married, and then I needed a hobby.
Yes.
And I was just like,
you're like, I just need a thing.
I don't actually know what I like.
Yeah.
I dropped out of college to get married, and I obviously have never gone back, and I was just like, I need something to do while I'm at home.
Yeah.
And he's gone, and I don't know, it just became a thing that I picked up. It started from Instagram videos. I would watch people do it, and I was like, I need to do that.
So you just basically just taught yourself and figured it out and found your own spin on it. That's cool. So what's it been like building a brand that has allowed you to be able to be part-time? Did you ever like expect that to happen?
No.
Because you were working full-time, and then you were taking on so many commissions that you were like, I need all of the time to do this. So you were able to go part-time at your day job. So how did you get to that point? What was that like?
It was really unexpected. I started out with just a private Instagram, and I was like, this is for me to watch my own progress. And then like friends started going in and adding themselves, and so I finally just made it public. So I really expected nothing out of it. And then I just kept, I think it was you that told me like, don't say no to jobs. And so I started doing that, and then I was like, girl, you busy.
Yeah.
So
you're like, who am I? Where did I get all this?
And it definitely comes in ebbs and flows. Like right now I'm in a flow. So that's kind of scary to like trust myself and my own ability to create and have a job. But I just noticed I was busier more often than I wasn't.
Yeah. How are some ways that you like keep yourself invested and keep yourself passionate about what you do?
Lately I've just been letting myself take breaks. I think that's been really important for me, especially just like with being pregnant, like the energy I have is different, and so if I let myself just take a step back, I feel like that creativity stays. I also follow this girl on Instagram. I cannot remember her handle, but she was like, part of the creativity like process is being in a rut, because that's where you find your inspiration. So I've also kind of started like embracing that and just being like, we're slow right now. I don't really.
And it's okay that we're not doing. I know it's so hard not to get caught up in the like, what's the next thing and what's the bigger thing and go to the point where you're like, okay, but now like, why am I even doing it if it's not? When it stops being fun.
Yes, 100%.
But I do think that it's like you are able to have the fun part and the job part.
Yeah.
And it's great when your fun thing starts to like make you money.
Yeah, and I think being an entrepreneur, you have to kind of embrace the part where you are slow. I think that's scary for entrepreneurs, because you're like, if I'm slow, I'm failing. But if you can embrace that, that's part of like why we want to do this job.
So that you're not running yourself crazy.
Yes.
I know, I think that it's like such an unfamiliar territory to be like, oh, I'm not doing anything. And then you're like, no, I'm not doing anything. And it's like, no, but that's not bad. Like, I did a bunch of stuff before, and like now I have a break. Like breaks are good. We just like, we don't think that's a thing.
No, you like have to remind yourself you work Saturdays and Sundays, and it's okay if you have a Monday night off and you're out hanging out because you have a 10 a.m. work morning.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's really weird to remind yourself that.
And like being okay with taking breaks, and it's like that's why you wanted to be an entrepreneur, so that you're able to take breaks sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what is a big challenge that you have had to overcome as an entrepreneur?
I think questioning myself. I do a lot of that, and like trusting that this can become something. I think I psych myself out a lot, and so I'm sure every entrepreneur does.
Literally every single person today has said almost that exact same thing.
It's so scary to just like trust yourself, and like I wouldn't be able to do it without my husband, because he's my fallback. He's always like, you got this. He was the one that was like, go part-time, like quit your job entirely, and I'm like, you don't have money.
Yeah, you're like, why do you believe in me so hard? My husband is totally the same way. It's like, it's so nice to have that like support system, have someone, and not that you like you can do it on your own, but it's nice to have like whoever that person is, whether it is like your spouse, your mom, your dog,
Literally, your people.
Your people. You have to
encourage
have
you.
your people to keep you going. Like, that's how we push through. And when you feel like you're like, what am I doing? It's so nice to have someone there to be like, no, you're doing great.
Right. Literally, it could be your mom. You're just like, you just need constant encouragement because you can't always do that for yourself. And
Yeah.
I think that's been really hard for me to find in myself, but
Yeah.
it's there.
I know it's hard to like get to that point where you're like, okay, but I can be the person that's telling you that like it's gonna be fine. And that's something that like with creating like this series for my YouTube channel, I want people to have like to know that they're not the only people that are trying to create a business, and that it is really lonely and that it is really hard, but like you can still do it. And then like the more people I feel like are trying to accomplish these goals, the more people will feel like they actually can. Like we all just talk about our crap a little bit more, like, and then it's a little bit more obvious that like, no, it's not all just like growth and money all the time.
No.
It helps so much to like see the other side of it. When did you kind of have that aha moment, like, holy crap, like I figured out a thing that like I'm really good at, that I love, that's actually making me money?
I feel like I found that really far into the beginning, was just like, people would come to me ideas. It would be like my parents and my family and Rob, and they would just be like, hey, you should do this, and I would try it, and they'd be like, that's great. And then I think I really found that click when I had consistent people coming back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
You really like me.
really did like that on your
Yeah.
wall. Thank you. And so then that's when I was like, okay, this is a thing. We're
Mhm.
starting. We're going.
What advice would you have for someone, especially artists? Because I think that art can be a very hard thing to like turn into a business, especially where you're having to take other people's creative ideas into your own consideration. Like it's not just your art anymore.
Oh, yeah.
What's your advice for people on how to make money from their art?
I think art is like kind of, what's the term, like gatekept, where like people I feel like get really upset when you like copy them, which of course if you're straight up copying and selling, that's a big no, but you can try to recreate something to find your like niche.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really scary because you see artists get really upset on Instagram and social media for this happening, and don't copy, but like it's okay to just like dabble in people's niches to find your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's been something that's been really big for me, is like you can try to recreate that and it's probably not going to work, or you might find your own like twist to it, and then boom, you found your whole entire like area that you like to sit in, and it's beautiful. So I think that's my biggest piece of advice, is like don't be scared of what other people are saying, and if it's pretty to you, you can go there. Like it's not, nobody owns an idea.
Yeah.
Really.
I know that's the thing that's so hard too, is it comes into that whole like, is it inspired by, is it copying? And
Right.
there's a very, very big difference.
Yes.
And like it's not that hard to figure out. Like there's a very big difference between being inspired by something and like straight up copying
Right.
it. And I think that being inspired by certain brands and like taking those inspirations, I think that's important. Trying different people's different styles. You might find something that you're like, oh my gosh, I actually really love to do my art this way as well, without it feeling like you're doing the exact same thing.
Right, and the exact same thing's boring. I don't think you would find like satisfaction out of that.
No.
But if you're just like trying and constantly inspired by the same artists, I don't think that's a bad thing either. Like,
Yeah.
I have like my top 3 artists, and I'm always just like, when I feel like I'm in a rut, I just like scroll through their Instagram.
Yeah, and it just helps to like spark different ideas.
Yeah, it's like-
Okay, so tell me some things that you're working on like right now. Like what's in the works for you?
I've actually been a little bit slow because
Besides growing a baby.
I'm growing a baby. That's why I've been slow.
That's the project for
I've been
right
working
now.
on lots of naps.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm doing a lot of holiday stuff that's starting to creep in, so I'm really excited to kind of, I don't know, holiday stuff's fun because they're so special and
Yeah.
sentimental, but that's kind of what's
Well,
going
that
on
totally
right
is.
now.
That's like things that people are going to keep like literally forever.
Right, and like I'm doing this one gift for a guy. I usually don't have male clients because I don't know, they're just not as artistically gift giving. But he has like him and his 2 friends. I'm redrawing them as the 3 amigos, but with
Oh, I love
fly
that.
fishing equipment. And I'm like, this is
That's
so
the most
weird, but
random,
so cute.
adorable thing I've ever heard.
Right, and I'm just making it into a sticker, and I'm just like, this is adorable.
That's so fun.
I love it.
What things do you hope to see moving forward? Like where do you want your brand to go?
I think I'd love like more of my own original art to be my thing, rather than, I love branding and I love logo work, but I think that would be really satisfying to be like, this is mine and all of these people want it and I only have one.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think that's where I want it to go, is just like I live off of my art.
Yeah, there's so many different ways that you can go with that. Yeah, oh, it's the most terrifying thing in the entire world to like have to believe in yourself, but you're doing it. And that's the thing, like sometimes you have to like remind yourself like, but I'm literally doing it right now.
Right,
And
it's
like
true.
keeping that like confidence. It's such a weird, it's so odd how like that plays into it so much, is that it's not just like you just make this thing, but it's like, but you make this thing, but it's like literally your heart.
Right, and it's very scary to put that out there and then have it flop, and you're just like, oh, I suck. And then you just do another one and keep going.
And then it ends up being fine. I love that. Oh, Melanie has been nice enough to give us a coupon code. So you can use Ginger Next Door 10, it's all caps, on her website to get 10% off now until
I think I did the end of November.
End of November, so you have time. So go and order some of her amazing prints or have her do your branding. Do you want to show a couple of these?
Oh, sure. These are all things that I have like available, so if any of this like sparks your eye, you can
The
send me a
papaya
DM.
one. Oh, I love that one. Let's also show this one because I remember you posting about it and I think it's so pretty.
Oh, this big one.
Yeah. So this one has your watercolor.
Mm-hmm. So these I think are all actually watercolor.
And you do watercolor and you do digital, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna hit you in the face
No,
with that.
you're good.
This one's nice because it shows off your like choreography. You're dancing right on the page. Your calligraphy. Thank you so much for talking to me. I hope that you guys liked this episode. Make sure that you follow Melanie on her Instagram. It's Meligrafi, and it's Meligrafi. Spell it wrong every time. Oh, spell it like you say it.
Well, it's because calligraphy
Is with
was
it.
already taken.
Yeah.
Like Meligrafi spelled with calligraphy correctly
Oh, that's
was
funny.
taken. And I
I'm
was
pretty
like,
sure I've accidentally tagged that account before.
it's fine.
But I fix it every time. I always remember.
I think I've tagged them too.
Whoops. You're welcome. So make sure that you follow her and then head over to melaniehaggard.com to order your prints. Bye!